It's day 1444 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. It should be a schus for Am Yisrael. Today we are doing, guess what? Siman Reis Samach Zayin. This is Motzei Shabbos. And this entire week is still going to be Siman Reis Samach Zayin. Till finally next Shabbos. Okay, so Reis Samach Zayin, Sif Kuf Lamed to Kuf Lamed Vav. Kuf Lamed, Evet Shebarach M'chutz L'Oretz. L'Oretz is the slave who fled from Chutz L'Oretz Eretz Yisrael, Mechzin Yisrael Abdus, the only term to slavery. This is a decree of the Torah. Do not return a slave to his master. Chazal's Masorah was Shizah Be'evet Shebarach Chutz L'Oretz Eretz Yisrael. Simply a slave who fled from Chutz L'Oretz Eretz Yisrael. We say to his master, to write for him a bill of release. And the slave write an IOU. Until he'll be able to acquire enough money to give to his master. The master does not want to release him. Mafkin based in based in can. Oh, we don't think we had this till now. This is a new idea. Based in dissolves the subjugation, and he can go. Some say that the master can still subjugate him in Eretz Yisrael. It's the run and getting Daf Chav Gimel. We give you a Rambam from Masha the Gam Zayin Yochol. He said that that's also not permitted. V'dad the Chotine Hevet she's Barba Simutet Buhu B'Mal B'Talal Shem Avos. All these halachas which is speaking of the similar where there was an original Milan field for a person Avos Umukav get Shichur. And he's impeded from his impediment, which does not allow him to have, for some reason, technical or otherwise, that he does not have a bill of release. Meaning that he's released, but he hasn't received the document. That those who we compel the master to write a bill of release, that they haven't compelled him yet. Rashi, all these which you talk about now. Despite the fact they still can't marry a bas chayrin, they're still also in a shivcha. But they're permitted. And also it's Batane Rabbi Yerucham. The Eved Mutter Bekutis, and Eved is allowed to marry a Kutis, non Jew, Kuti Mutter Shivcha, and a Kuti is allowed to marry a Shivcha. I think it's a non Jew. It's the Batane Rabbi Yerucham. I feel Mechutz Gat Shikor Mash with Shili Akum the Mutter and Shamatin Sates Ever Zardaf. Emphasize of a Zardaf Ainvav base that even if he's just has impediment and not being allowed and not having a bill of release, he's still permitted to still remain married, so to speak, to a non-Jew. Kuflam it out. Nusach start Shikor, the formula of the bill of release. Bekach Shabbos and so of the week. Ech on ploni how you so and so b'choshum chanichat is ech anaploni. Sorry, how I so and so choshum chanichat is in any name and nickname that I have. So bisi b'lusav she I expressed my desire, my free desire. Below anis without being compelled. B'shachris yosach, and I released you on plenty. You so and so b'choshum chanichat islach, any name and nickname that you have. Davis avdi and kandas the nod that you were my slave till now. V'hashto now I knesi lach navshech I bestowed upon you ownership of your own soul. The tevi barchin that you should be free. V'tishtar the me'al b'kol Yisrael, and you should be allowed to come into the congregation of Israel and mesa bar tehon to marry their daughters of Melaf ant mizarech bo, right? So and to learn you and your children Torah. Israel, and bring them into the shuls of Israel or Knesset or in general. And no person will protest this. From today, and forever. And a jurisdiction of other human beings that is not incumbent upon you. The is going to issue forth from you. This is from me a letter of freedom and a bill of release. That's Moshe B'Yisrael, according to the law of Moses in Israel. Of the master signs below, most of the Adam kills them in front of witnesses. It seems to me that the witnesses can write this in third party format. Because it can't issue, just like we do with like of a woman. And the master gives this to the slave or his agent. The base. Because on Paraktes, Ram writes, so whether somebody's buying a non-Jewish slave from another Jew, or from a Ger Toshav, or a Kutia from a non-Jew, who is conquered underneath us, or any other nations in the world. A person from any other nation of the world. You saw ever who wants to sell himself to Jew as a slave. And this slave is now an Ever for all matters. He can also sell his sons and daughters. Non-Jews sell his sons and daughters. From them you can buy some from the family who were with you, which gave birth in your land. They're like Canaanite slaves, so it matters. It sees when he means to say, it does not work, it's not effective for a slave to go and initiate his own tvila, his own going to make a purpose of cherus, like it works if you acquire a slave from a non-Jew. Because a slave cannot acquire the body of a non-Jew, sorry, cannot acquire the body of a slave. Mashiach as opposed to all these who can. The brackets he says here, because of learning here, Malchol Dover, it's not clear what it means in Chofon matters. Magic Safety on Sharper, basically what I said works out well. Tzarchi, it's not clear, Shakesa Mishnah, but Lechem Mishnah Leviah Asaga, Lechem Mishnah Kesa Mishnah, I guess, don't bring the Rabbin's issue. I ain't sure. Kufla Megillah. Old custom, he also writes, one of the nations of the world which have relations with the Shifch or Knanis, which belongs to us, and female slave, Harei ben Ever Knani, the son is an Ever Knani. Shema says, so Shalil Batzen, those they gave birth into to you in your land. I've ever shlon, but one of our say Shabal Achas Mina Umos, who has relations with one of the nations of the world, and ben Evan. That's a condition, right? The slave is, the child is not as Evan. Shema, Shalil Batzen. Those who gave birth in your land, be'evan ein lo yachas. The slave has no genealogy. But you see, everybody disagrees with him. It's a Bryce of Yavamas. It's a Bryce of Yavamas saying los chayik on the shama. It's about not leaving Canaanites alive. From Shama it says that Avlado Erachas Dachat says that the child follows the male. The Rambam have a hevech. Here it's the opposite. The Shalach Rima follows the mother, the female. He spent a long time on this. And he has 19 years, Bar Shulchan to me, it's clear the coming as the Rambam can. Rambam also is that, okay, also is that way. Shadakin, my Haidakam, in a Ben Evan, because when we infer what he means, it's saying the slave is not, the son is not a slave. Dr. Mishar Umos Uslik knows Evan, what do you mean? You can't buy a slave from other nations of the world. But Rive at Tamazai and Sean Rive was astounded at this formulation. Lachain really, therefore, Tisi Doggy Gomar. That's what Rambam really means to say. Echem Milos Reha Ben Evan. This, the Klomar meaning, you can buy this child as a slave. The the Pastor such a scenario. You'll see it says, from them you can acquire. As opposed to the male. It's not included in the progeny of male Canaanites who are not supposed to be kept alive. Our Evan, etc. The say is not an Evan. The son is not a slave. Now let's require a slave. Because it's included Los Chayek on the Shama. And the drasha of the gay birth in your land, but not from those that you born outside the land, which are actually from the descendants of Canaan. That he should follow his mother like a non-Jew. The of Lako Mitzri Ein Lo. There are no fathers for Egyptian or any other non-Jew. Like Amish only has a mother. And say it doesn't even that yichus. It doesn't even have that yichus. It needs the verb Shas, his words like the words of the Shas. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying here. I think he's saying that, of course, it follows the Uma goes after the father, but that which are allowed to acquire I really don't understand what he's saying. But the bottom line is, it sounds like an Evid. The son of Evid is not necessarily an Evid unless you own the mother, because father is no yachas to the child. Okay, Kuf Lamed out. Shani B'Torah Skayim learned Torah Skanim Parshas Bar Lo Beit Avodu. You should always work them forever. En Chamem Avodu B'Vad. You only have work. Lo Mashal Torah Shal Avodu B'Kov L'Shit. You can work as a slave any work you want. Kol Kam En Rashal Koso. Nevertheless, not allowed to hit him, Utaro, and cause him anguish, and embarrass him. Like it says, neither Avodah neither Hatif Lo Bush. I gave it to him. Gave it to you to work, but not to embarrass. Or go now Rakolov. If you kill a non-Jewish slave, you're killed too. Chutz Yomi Yomayim, except for the halacha of if he lingers for a day or two. He called nevertheless, despite that you're not allowed to. If you hit him and you hurt him, or you embarrass him, put that should be exempt from pain. Now we learn somebody who damages his own Eviknani, put in the kulam, exempt from all pain, so you can't pay a your brethren b'nei Yisrael should not work with Bavodas Porach. Boa Enator Porach. You cannot work him hard. Roda at ben chorim beperach. You work your free employee hard. If he's your hired hand, work him to the hilt. Asherei Amanas Kain, so he hired himself out to you for that purpose. Because the Ram so Periktes, the Ram writes with level of Eviknani, you have a Porach, you'll have to work your Eviknani to the hilt. Abishat and Kinim, that's the halacha. It's a meter of piety and a pathway of wisdom. She'adam Rachman, a person should be merciful, V'rodev Tzedek, and pursue justice. V'lach B'dallah Avdon should not put a heavy burden on his slave. Not cause him anguish. And any food and drink. Those claim the original or the older, the more ancient Chachamim would give to the slave any food which they would eat. That's Ksum Samachav, and brings the brackets here. Shami Perka, Chayvel, Isa, Rabbi Yochanan, Ochel, Kupan, Yochanan, you see meat, Yoel, Avdei, and give it to the slave. Shasi Chamer, drink wine, Yoel, and give it to the slave. Karin, Avshei, quote himself, actually, very well known, Shami. They said about himself, a little bit better, Asani, Aso, the same womb which created me, in other words, human womb, created him, he's also a human being. And they would give their animals and their slaves to eat before themselves. Remember, it says, just like the eyes of the slaves are to the masters of Gomer. So too we look to Kosh Baruch Hu. So too should degrade him, not corporally, nor verbally. You speak with him gently, and so listen to his claims. If I repudiated the justice of my slave. And cruelty and brazenness are not prevalent only among idolaters. But the sense of Avraham Avinu, they are merciful on all. So Hashem's mercy is on all. Anybody who's merciful, Rachmin love them, merciful on him. Shneimah says, he will give you mercy, and he will have mercy upon you and enhance you. In brackets, he says here, till now you decide about halachos Eveknani. But on the Bible, said Hilchos every now we're going to go to Hilchos every even though of his superfluous bismanazeh. So, oh well. Kuflan Vav. Shnei Minei Eved Ivri Yesh B'Torah. There are two types of Eved Ivri in the Torah. Echad Shemishpatim, the person of the Torah, they will see Kisik Eved Ivri, you buy an Eved Ivri, Zel Yisol Shel There's a Jew who stole Elam Ma'ashalim, doesn't have what to pay. See, it says, he mainly doesn't have any card, so he's sold in his theft. Shabasin Mochin, so Basin pay him, so sell him Ma'ashalim, and they use the proceeds to pay back the theft. Now, Shani, the second was Parshas Bahar, V'chiyah Mucha, Chiyah V'nikar. If your brother becomes impoverished and sold to you, v'gomer v'kachshim and v'chilta reish mishpatim, says there, kisiknei eved ivri b'nimkar based on kosim medaber. Kisiknei eved ivri is in mishpat mishpatim. It's sold in court. Shuavda sabed, he serves the master and his son. So perhaps selling by somebody who sold himself. Shomer v'chilmucha chiho. No, it says Zoran the chumash in Parshas Bahar v'yikol chafei. Your brother becomes impoverished, and sold to you. That's some. So what it says, if you acquire an Eved Ivri, you can also in his theft, etc. and shop. Like people based in sell are thieves. We should talk concerning him. It says, if your brother, the Jew, will be sold to you. Become etc.